afterwards, because if we do it now, we're going to stay for the whole day. You just can take whatever translation memory you have and put it in the translation memory folder of omega t. So if you have 10 translations done previously, you just put them there and they are there for your reference. That is, omega t will search all these translation memories if there are any matches, if there are similar translations that you already did before. Now, I did try to do the same text before with the omega t. Now, opening the omega t. And there you see you get the 100% match of the translation memory we copied into the directory. So it's really, you have to find your tool that you like best. You have to try them out, because everybody is different, and my favorite tool for male languages was for years DW, which is, well, I think it cannot be compared easily to others. It's not so much used by translation agencies, but it's really good for translators. And the one, this is why I always talk about VFL, because it goes a bit into that direction from the logic. It gets you more in this, I don't know, the same feeling when you translate that. And this omega t has been like that from the very beginning. This means it's 8, 9 years now, but it always worked like that. And we have been talking a lot of times to have it show up with a different user interface, but it will take some time. It's open source and people program for free. So it takes its time to have things done, but there is always the possibility to get, for example, 20, 30 people together and say, we want this feature in this software, and you talk with the developers, and you find a developer and you can pay it to get this feature. This means maybe by contributing, don't know, 20 people, 10 euros, you get the feature you eventually need immediately. You know, somebody can take time away of not having to accept freelance jobs. So you can decide what to have in there. You can go and say, I would like to see this feature. I mean, how much would it cost if you want to have it immediately and not just ask for it and then it's implemented when developers have time, because they do this in their free time. And if you have enough people, you find a programmer that matches, that can do that, normally you can get a feature in, which costs much less than having this updates and updates and updates of commercial software, because this time it's a group of 20 paying for it, next time it's another group of 20 paying for it. That's a bit my logic, and we had this, we did it with Omega T 2 years ago with this Mediarity feature, because we really wanted it to have, to be able to translate our stuff easily, let's say from English or Italian to Neapolitan. So that was one, we were in 4 paying for the feature. Was paid, it's a paid for one. So you can do this, you can ask developers if they would like to go that way by contributing with them, because they have to live on something. Okay. Here you go ahead. I mean, you see, it's the same logic as before. You have the 100% match. You have also the partial matches below. And well, time is very, very short. We cannot really go through it. It's a glance of what is possible, of what you can do. Tomorrow we are going to have this translation marathon where we can also use these tools. I have them here. They do not need to be installed on the various computers, so we can also try them out. I'll be around for 4.5 hours. Of course, we have a program of what we would like to get, but it must be also combined with who is going to come, what they would like to get out of it. So this is going to be decided really tomorrow morning. Okay. Yeah. that's it about CAD tools. All creatures under new GPL license. You will hear about that a bit later on. And okay, afterwards I would like to have a piece of paper around. So if you want to have the links and additional information, because I started to integrate these short texts with some more explanations, so that you can get the updates and download them when you're interested. Okay. Now, we talked about these tools, and we mentioned some standards. So, there's some, we have TMX, which is Translation Memory Exchange. The actual version is 1.4b, if I remember well. And this is supported by all main tools. Then there is TBX, which is used for terminology exchange. Only, strangely enough, only very few CAD tools use it actually. So TMX is widely supported, TBX a bit less. Normally TMX and TBX support ISO 6392 language codes. This is two-letter language codes. And ISO 3166 for country codes. The examples, we also saw them when we created the databases before. Now, you have the difference from one CAD tool to the other. Sometimes that instead of the dash in the middle, they write it with underscore. So these are the things you have to look at when you change. Okay. When you pass from one application to the other, sometimes you have to pre-treat these translation memories, just changing, for example, the underscore to a normal dash, something like that. These are things to look at when you work with various tools. Okay, I mean, I don't know how many of you do use them already professionally, or how the university uses them in courses. I don't have a clue there. I mean, so I had the last look at ISO 639 language codes, and now there are 7,500 approximately listed. The majority of these is less resourced, but we have our tools like, well, TMX, TBX, they don't support these codes normally. But we have these three tools, which are only open source ones, that support those codes. This means the standards normally should be adapted to what we really need. But if they don't do it, I mean, we don't have a chance, we have to break it. Because otherwise we would never be able to translate into less resourced languages. I mean, I had to fake for 4 or 5 years translating with Omega T to Neapolitan. I couldn't use the NAP code because it was not supported by the tool that relied only on ISO 63992. So really it's, well, if the standard doesn't support it, I mean, we do it and go ahead because we need the contents, and students need the contents, and I would say mankind need them. Okay, so the document is under CC BY SA/NT license, share alike, non-commercial. You will hear about this soon. And yeah, for further information, you can have look at lisa.org. They are the maintainers of TMX and TVX. ISO 6393 is maintained by sil.org, and of course that's us. And that's it from my side. I tried to go through it very, very fast. I mean, it was a bit hard to decide if I'm going to go whole theory and whatever, or if I go with an example. Now I chose that way because maybe